Good evening, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to tonight's live video. We got a lot of people here already.
Yes, Texas Cruiser. Hello from Galveston. Tara's here. Hello, everyone. Just Cody. Hey, Chris and Tiffany. Hope all is well. Misty says hello from Iowa. She's waiting on room service. That is so awesome. Andre, hello, everyone. Checking from Virginia. Connie is here. Ahoy, mateys. And Ray just jumped on. Good evening from Nags Head.
Well, welcome, everybody. Glad to see folks here, ready to go, talk about all things cruising. We had a long day today.
Yes.
We had a long day today. We did film today. Took a good part of the day filming the confetti cake episode for this Sunday.
Yes.
From Cooking with Cruise Cooking with Tiffany.
Something like that.
Something like that. That took a good portion of the day. And now we're forced to eat confetti cake pretty much for the next week. It's going to be like embarkation day every day.
I told you, take it to work.
Take it to work and hand it out.
Yes.
But that video has officially been filmed and is awaiting editing for Sunday.
Yes. Misty said, took a 3-day trip. Margaret, hello from Sacramento, California. 4 days until Navigator of the Seas.
Awesome. 4 days.
Uh-oh. Misty said, trip to the most expensive resort in Iowa, hospital.
Oh.
That's not good.
That is not good.
That's not good room service either.
No. They are not going to bring you anything yummy.
No, I hope you're okay. Everything's okay. Connie says, yay. Andre, 98 days until I sail on the breeze for bachelor party.
98 days. That's still better than us.
Yes.
We are 108 days away from Harmony of the Seas officially as of today, but we are only 60 days away from land cruising to Tennessee.
Yes.
So
And a bachelor party on a cruise ship. You know that's trouble.
A whole cruise vacation could be considered a bachelor party.
Texas Cruiser says, yay, more cooking with Tiffany. Yes. Y'all can't laugh, though.
I can make a whole blooper reel from some of that stuff on the video. I may still do it just for fun.
Okay. James says, hey, Chris and Tiffany and all High Seas Cruisers from Cincinnati, Ohio. Attila says, hey, y'all. Misty says, been a week. It sure sounds like it, Misty.
Yeah.
Bob says, hello, fellow cruisers. Hope all is well with everyone. Texas Cruiser at Margaret. I love the Navigator. Misty says, getting closer, Margaret. Nellie, hi, all Celebrity Beyond and Freedom coming next week. So one more live until the 2 cruises. Yes.
I'm excited for those cruises.
Yes.
That should be good. Definitely have to post some pictures and stuff from those cruises, especially the celebrity cruise.
Mm-hmm.
You can get some firsthand, upfront, current celebrity cruise news.
Margaret at Texas Cruiser, me too. My oldest sister has never cruised before, so she's coming out from Ohio, and I'm taking her, hoping to get her hooked. I bet you will.
Yeah,
I
think more people like it than they dislike it.
Ray says 2 weeks and cruising from Norfolk is back open. That's excellent news.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Dang. Who's cruising before us?
Yeah. Well, that port's opening, right? That's what he's saying. Norfolk is opening.
That's where the sunshine is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Andre says, just don't cook no green bean casserole. No, because I won't eat it. I have to actually eat it if I'm going to cook it.
Yeah, and I'm not about to come in the video and taste it, so
No.
Yeah, no green bean casseroles. We promise.
Nellie says, Andre, just don't fight in the luggage area.
My God, yeah. I'm sure you guys saw that. That is the craziest thing. And the more that story comes out, it apparently started on the basketball court, and escalated around the ship before finally
coming to a head
in the luggage area. I honestly don't know what is wrong with some people and some cruisers, but it's been that kind of week. There's an update too. We talked about it last week about the guy with the heroin and the fentanyl and all that.
Mhm.
Well, I actually had that story backwards. He wasn't getting on the cruise ship. He was actually getting off the cruise ship. It was disembarkation when they caught him.
Oh,
He'd actually been into Mexico and was smuggling it back into the United States, which means he'd had it and had already been on the cruise ship the entire cruise ever since they left Mexico. So that could have only been one day, but it was actually caught getting off of the ship, not getting on the ship, which means at some point he got it on the ship. Yeah.
it's kind of unnerving.
Yeah. Then I posted a video today of the woman who refused to get off of the excursion boat there in the Bahamas. And I feel bad for her a little bit, because that's permanently on the internet now. But that really should be a lesson that those, officials in the Bahamas, they play no joke. They're not playing. They're not joking. They grabbed that woman, drug her to the edge of the seat. One came up behind her and shoved her right onto the floor. And that Bahamian woman that was dragging her off was going to win that pulling contest. That was like the Bahamian She-Hulk. And I wouldn't wish to commit no crimes near her.
No.
She looks like she could just pick a couple of us up under her arms and carry us right to jail. I don't think I'd have pissed her off.
No. Nope, not at all.
Did you get way behind on the comments already?
Misty said, I didn't see the fight on Liberty. That was the sailing I was on. Andre, Nelly, you gonna bail me out if I do? Texas Cruiser Royal reported a great first quarter. I'm sure all of them are going to report a great first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, all their bookings are up.
Everybody, and the bookings up. And
the bookings are what's up, and they're going to report great quarters. But again, the bookings are up. Why lower your prices and reduce the price of anything when you continue to book at 100% capacity?
Yeah,
that's not going to change until capacity drops or booking strike. And they are strong all the way through this year for the cruise lines, looking good into next year already. I think cruising is very quickly becoming one of the most popular, affordable vacation options that includes more, stuff than your average vacation does. Yeah. I mean, where else can you really go other than an all-inclusive and get everything that you get in a cruise for that price? If you just try to go somewhere and you pay to get there and pay to do everything and pay to eat everything and drink everything, it costs way more than a cruise. Mm-hmm. Cruising is an affordable vacation, and so it's seriously on the rise.
Nelly's asking Misty if they made a big deal of it. Bob said, enjoyed the pictures Carolyn posted.
Yes. I would definitely thank you to Carolyn for posting her pictures going through the Panama Canal. Now, one of those pictures really stood out to me, and I'm going to share that here real quickly, because this one right here, I mean,
those are some formal looking
birds. Those are some very formal looking birds. It's like they're birds in tuxedos. I'm almost convinced that they're either birds that would sail on Cunard Cruise Lines, or these are the same two that write in comments every week to John Heald demanding that the dress code be enforced in the dining room. I think this is them.
I think so.
Look, they got the hook on the end of the beak, perfect for typing out dress code complaints on Carnival Cruise Lines. I found the perpetrators. There they are. But yeah, of all the pictures Caroline sent, this is the one that go, whoa, look at these birds. But they were all awesome pictures, of course. Some beautiful pictures of going through the locks there in Panama. Yes. So thank you, Caroline, for those awesome pictures. But I definitely really love that bird picture.
Nelly says, Andre, Texas Cruiser, lives in Galveston. He is there. Attila said, and no jumping in the elevators either.
Oh my God, that one too. So did you hear about that one? No. I probably didn't tell you about that one because I didn't really do a story about that one. But there was a couple in an elevator and some kids came on the elevator and were like jumping up and down and banging the side, shaking the elevator, according to the story. Remember, everything's according to and allegations of, but of course, there's video and everything else. And so they told these kids to stop, and words were exchanged by these kids, foul mouth stuff. And so the doors opened on the elevator. He attempted to get off the elevator. They wouldn't let him off. He pushed his way through, and then they like beat him up, like knocked him out and stuff like that. One of them has since then been arrested.
Oh my! The kids?
One of them was 18,
Oh.
at least 18. So he was arrested. Not real sure about what's going to or will happen. The others, of course, I'm sure it'll end up in cruise bans and everything like that. But yeah,
wow,
overriding the elevator.
Which is why I take the stairs.
Makes you want to take the stairs more, doesn't it?
Yeah. Texas Cruisers laughing at Nelly. Misty said, nope, didn't know anything about it till a couple days after we got off. Did see cops with papers with pictures on them. So they were probably looking for people.
Mm-hmm.
Ray says, I never liked basketball that much.
Yep, don't like it on a cruise ship anymore now.
Yeah. Andre said, I need a ride to the port at Nelly at Texas. Margaret, 34 days until Ovation and 219 until Quantum. I think I need to squeeze 1 or 2 in between those two.
34, of course you do. Absolutely should.
I agree. Nellie said they had a whole day to calm down and still fought. Shameful. Cruise lines need to have a universal ban.
That would be great. And they're probably going to get closer and closer to it. I think it's going to happen in the end. I think it's going to have to happen in the end. I have no idea really what is prompting this type of behavior more so now than it seems that it used to be. Is it because more stuff is posted on the internet now? Is it because everybody films, everybody has a camera, everybody wants to post that super viral video? Is that why we are seeing more of it? Or since the restart of COVID, we have so many new cruisers that aren't used to the cruising life, the cruising situation, and they're getting on the ships and acting like they're on the block back home? I don't know.
It's also could be. I see a lot more content creators for cruising, more than I ever have, especially on TikTok and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, because I'm not going to get into all that, but yeah, there has been a large number of new content creators
So more
formed since COVID.
More
coverage
of cruising, making it more affordable. I guess they can use that Affirm to pay for it now, and
about like flex pays and things like that. Yeah.
So it's becoming more feasible for people, and then you get that many people, and the more people you put on a cruise line, they need to stop and think about that too. You're trying to put 6,000-7,000 people on a cruise line with different personalities, with alcohol. It's somewhere, it's going to come to a head.
I don't know.
And people nowadays just don't respect their fellow person.
That's true. It is an entitlement world. It's a me world. I get what I want. I complain. I get what I want. I do what I want. I act how I want. Screw everybody else. And sure, I mean, there was a story just a couple weeks ago. It was actually a CEO of a really big company. And they were on a cruise, him and his wife. And there was another guy on the ship who was dancing barefoot. And the wife didn't like it. So she started berating the guy for dancing barefoot. The guy told her, screw off. I do what I want. And her husband, the CEO guy, tried to choke him out. He said something like lost his job. And
wow.
Yeah, so it's
everybody's so worried about what everybody else is doing that they're not paying attention to what they're doing.
Yeah, so I mean, we're talking even a CEO of a big company getting himself in trouble on a cruise ship. So it's not just like, one even income bracket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's everywhere.
Just Cody said people are going a bit crazy. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Nellie said Margaret was going to do quantum, but I added icon, so quantum had to go. Okay.
You got a better deal on
Yeah.
Icon.
Yeah. Margaret at Nellie, I'm looking at doing icon next year for birthday. Attila said 109%.
Was that thunder?
I don't know.
It's either thunder or the other side of the house exploded.
Yeah.
Not sure. Let's hope it was thunder.
Yeah. Attila said 109% overall capacity on RCL. Man, those ships are packed.
Mm-hmm. They are packed, and you're bound to have some rubbing each other the wrong way, metaphorically.
Yeah.
Then again, some of those fights could be from rubbing each other the wrong way, period. What?
Attila said that's sold cabins capacity 109. Nellie said, I wonder if Star of the Seas bookings are bad. Casino sent offer today for free for 2 and many dates.
Well, you know, Royal Caribbean's notorious. It's their brand new ship. They gonna charge way more than they can for other ships. There could be a distinct possibility that people are like, do I really want to pay all this money to sail on this ship right away that's only going to be doing 3 and 4 night cruises when they could go to the ship next to it and get the same cruise for way less money? We've seen that and considered that multiple times. You know, especially like when Tiffany wants to do Disney, wait till the brand new Disney ship comes out. Then you book one of her older ones and you get it way, way cheaper because Disney's got the same mentality. Carnival, everybody does. It's a brand new ship, charge way more money for it. They are starting to get their prices to the I need to think about it level, or I'll wait till the price goes down, or look, I can book the ship right next to it for this, way less money. Star of the Seas is great. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, but you can book that, or you could book Wonder of the Seas right next to it and probably get it for half the price.
Nellie said those bird pics were beautiful. Chica's here. Hola, Chris and Tiffany and friends. Nellie said canard birds.
I'm telling you, those are the canard birds. You are not in dress code, sir. To the plank. I'm telling you, that's the two right there that always write in the comments to Carnival Cruise Line saying, my meal was ruined. That man was wearing jeans. And now my lobster, it tastes funny to my diamond palate.
You're amazing. Tell us that maybe future bookings going down and they start sending offers now.
I think they're reaching that price plateau, especially with these new cruise. I've seen it. Inside cabins for one of these brand new cruise ships, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for a couple days on it because it's brand new. When you could book, like I said, book the ship next to it for the exact same trip for what, $2,000?
Yeah. Nellie, hey Sheikah, how did the Chili's come out? Nellie, that's the one Misty was on where they were jumping on the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Misty said, yeah, Nellie, my husband said he did see kids jumping in elevator. Yeah, I don't like elevators. One, people don't have elevator etiquette, and then you're going to get beat up for telling somebody to quit jumping. We're not riding the elevator. Sheikah, Nellie, chimes are ready. I think chilies are ready, so I can make fresh salsa for a while. Yeah, chilies. Okay. Chilies are ready.
My address is in care of High Seas Cruising. I like it a little spicy.
Nellie said, I saw a TikTok today where someone on a Carnival ship was mad at the internet. The couple posted them having marijuana. The cabin number was there, so people sent it to the Carnival. Security got them.
If you're talking about the one I'm talking about, it was the guy who had the tattoos. I'm not going to try to be too. Had the hat and kept saying that they had gas in his cabin. If that's the way it's about, yeah. The guy that told on himself. Here's the thing. I guess he claims he made a video, but didn't mean for it to go to the internet because he was in airplane mode. We believe that story. Where basically he snitched on himself for having it on the ship. While he was on the ship, they went to his cabin and found it. Then he made a second video talking about how the internet snitched on him. No, you snitched on yourself, bro. Claiming it was an accident. No, you're dumb.
Bob said, too many people in today's world have no consequences for their actions. This is true. This is very true. Now,
But the cruise lines are working on changing that. They are trying to make consequences for actions. And maybe because it's just the cruise lines, yeah, they can turn you over to law enforcement. And maybe the best they can do is to say, you will never, ever, ever do business with us again. Given enough time, that could be enough. Because people will continue to do stuff and they're going to continue to get banned. And the number of people that get banned a week that there's just stories on is quite high. Wouldn't surprise me the number of people. I'd be curious to know the number of people that are actually getting banned.
See, James says, I just don't understand it. People, you are on vacation. Why all the fighting? I don't understand it either.
I don't either. I'm too busy relaxing, having a good time, trying to enjoy myself. And yeah, there's some annoying people, but you can turn around and just walk off.
Yeah.
And don't go somewhere else. You don't have to listen to it and put up with it and deal with it.
Nellie says Lido and the marijuana was confiscated, and they said security told them to expect something before end of cruise. I bet it wasn't a free bottle of champagne.
No? Was it chocolate covered strawberries? Was it an invitation to please never return?
Yeah.
Expect something for the end of your cruise. Yeah, das Boot.
Attila said, yeah, the whole CEO choke guy story is so weird. Now he's facing charges right at the end. At the very least, he's not going to work in his industry anymore as a big shot executive.
Yeah, over his wife starting an argument with a guy not wearing shoes on the dance floor.
Which,
again, who cares?
Yeah, and most women are usually barefoot because their feet hurt because of the shoes they're wearing.
Not everybody's a hillbilly, baby.
I know.
That's you. But yeah, I've seen women kick off their shoes plenty of times, especially those pointy shoes with, it looks like, they're walking on twigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder their feet hurt.
Connie said, I did a Google image search of the birds in that photo. Google says they are that kind of bird.
That sounds like a bird that would complain about dress codes. I'm just saying.
I'm not even going to attempt to say that.
But that could be my very, you know what? I'm going to use that word. We're going to replace, because we've stopped using the word Karen on our show. And we don't use that word because we know Karens. And it's not fair. That name of that bird, that is what is going to replace Karen.
Frigate?
I don't even know how to say it, but that's the word we're going to use. That is the word we're going to use, and we're going to use that picture of the birds.
Nellie said, also going back to Star Casino offers, think of this world. America is way cheaper, so RC has to do something.
MSC, they've made it very, very clear. They intend to take the market share. They want it. They're after it. They are chasing it.
Sheikah said those dummies jumping on the elevator can actually damage the elevator. That would be my fear. Is they do too much damage and there goes the elevator. And we go crashing through the bottom into the ocean. There we go.
There's safety things.
I know.
But it would stop. It would get stuck. And now you're stuck in the elevator with the little shits.
Mm-hmm.
Then it becomes that scene from Captain America Winter Soldier where they attack him in the elevator. That's what it turns into.
Sheikah said, who wants to sail on World America? I sure do.
And you may not have one of them, shields like he does, but I'm pretty sure there's a dinner plate in the corner of the elevator.
Texas Cruiser said that World America ship looks awesome.
It does look really, really good. Now, we're going to try our first MSC cruise first, see how we feel about MSC before we definitely can say we want to take another. But at the same time, we've never met a cruise we didn't like. So, and if MSC is going to keep the price low and we like MSC, MSC may see some more high-speed cruising.
Yeah. Ray says, stupid people, stupid tricks, just cruise and enjoy. Exactly, Ray. I like that. He puts it so simple.
Remember, too, 98%, 99% of cruisers are doing exactly that.
It's just that 1% that the 98% of people around them have a camera and a video recorder and catch it all on film.
It gives us something to talk about.
Yes. Bob says, my wife and I discussed all the troubles on board and are afraid we may lose some of our privileges because of them.
I'll tell you the privilege I think that you guys are going to lose first is going to come straight from Carnival. I think dropping off the bags early for Platinum, Diamond, Faster to the Fun, and Sweet Guest, I think that one's going to be the next to go. If people don't stop, and the Carnival doesn't have to remind them week after week after week, just stop going down there and messing with the room attendants and making their silly demands. I think that is the privilege that's going to disappear first, to be honest with you. I think that one's the one that's in true jeopardy.
Yeah. James says, agree, Rick. Totally. The World Sorry. The World America looks like an awesome ship. Andre has a question. How soon can you change a person out if they can't make the cruise with another person?
How soon? Well, you can do it immediately. It is going to depend on the cruise line and their specific policy. There may be a fee involved to change the name. I think Carnival charges a $50 fee to change the name. I've heard Royal Caribbean will do it a lot of times for you at no additional cost. So it's going to depend on the cruise line and everything else. But I think you can do it up to a couple of days before you cruise. You can still do a name change on there. And I think that couple of days is to make sure they have time to run everything through customs. But yeah, name changes, call cruise lines. Absolutely, that's something they can do for you. What and if it's going to cost you is dependent on the cruise line.
James agrees with Ray. Attila said, Bob, you're right. I think so too. John Heald has reportedly warned passengers to drop luggage and leave right away, and they keep ignoring the rules. So we may lose that one real soon.
I think that is the one that is in jeopardy the most. And it sucks and it's really, really sad because it's the minority of people who say, I don't care that I'm not allowed to do it. I will do it anyway. It's the minority that goes down there and tells the room steward, well, I should be allowed to stay in here at least 45 minutes. I need to take a nap. I need to take a shower. Why you want to take a shower in a dirty shower? Because the room's not clean. I don't get. Why you want to take a nap on a bed that isn't made? I don't get. Why you wanted to make the room steward leave so now it takes longer to get your room? I don't get. Especially when you're an experienced cruiser, you know this is the situation. Why have you not prepped and prepared for it ahead of time? Why do you make a scene and cause a problem? But it's that minority that will affect the majority every single time and get something taken away.
Yep. Connie said, I think it's like the type of ship. Is it Frigati? Is that the name of the ship or that type of ship? Frigati? The name of the bird.
Frigate.
Frigate is the name of the ship?
It's a ship type. It's called a frigate.
Okay, well then that's how you say it. Misty Williams.
Frigates of the sea.
Misty
that works.
Says, ooh, me. I will go on a World America one day. She wants to go on the World America. Texas Cruiser. I heard the next MSC World ship will be called MSC World Texas. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, Nellie.
It's pulling into Galveston with towing the Icon. The MSC World Texas.
Pika is asking Andre, are you getting married? James says, laugh out loud, Rick. Sounds good to me. Ray, MSC, please let us know. Nelly, the next MSC World ship is going to Canaveral, so not Texas, yet like them doing icons. Moonlight Adventures is here. What's going on, y'all? Not much.
Not much. We are talking about cruises, future cruises, entitled people, and possible loss of privileges at Carnival. If people don't change, people jumping on elevators, fighting in cruise terminals, getting drug off excursion boats, all of the fun stuff they like to do.
Andre says his brother is getting married. He's been married 5 years now. Well, congratulations. Misty, if people can't put on their big boy girl pants, they need to stay home, not ruin others' vacations. I agree.
I do too. I completely agree. I mean, you know you're going to get on a ship with a bunch of people. You know, I mean, unless it's your very first cruise, there's going to be some times that it's crowded. There's going to be some times when you're like, oh, at least if you're me, I've got to get out of those crowds sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really good at just working my way out to an open deck and moving away from the people when I need to, so I don't get frustrated and stuff by everybody else, you know?
Moonlight Adventure says they can confirm the world America's amazing.
There we go. That is a confirmation that it is amazing. All right, let's all go book it.
Chica, Texas Cruiser. I heard one RCCL ship is no James. I would do. Wait, I'm reading. Something changed.
You lost you. There you go. You're right there, baby.
Okay. Is coming to San Diego next year, but I don't remember the name. James says, I have booked the NCL Aqua. That is Thunder. In June 26, but might change it and book the World American Fit. That scared the dogs. Shh. Nellie said, no, James, I would do Aqua, but that's just me. John's here. Like the key on Royal, better just drop it in the dining room, and when the room is ready, you know it's there, and enjoy your Royal lunch in the dining room. There you go.
Well, there's been suggestions that, you know,
oh, your bags.
Yeah, they just talk about the, you know, drop and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carnival could switch to something like that. They could say nobody boards the ship till 1:30 when the rooms are ready. There's all kinds of possibilities. I think the most likely one is that they lock those doors in some shape or form. That way nobody can get in, nobody can get past them.
I like Moonlight Adventures comment. If you can't have fun on a cruise, you need help. There you go. That says it all.
Because I can have fun taking an afternoon nap.
Yeah, you can. James said, yes, it will be my 10th NCL cruise, so probably we'll sail the Aqua, especially with all the changes on it. Texas Cruiser says, I know Navigator is on the West Coast. Serenade is going to San Diego, though. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm. Serenade of the Seas.
Margaret at Chica, Serenade is home porting at San Diego starting October 26th and doing Mexican Riviera, including La Paz. Yeah. Okay. That word. Chica said, at James, I looked at the Aqua but did not like the itinerary. And Nellie said, we have severe thunderstorm warnings here in Temple, Texas.
Yeah,
we have a chance for rain, but it like
about an hour and a half south of you, and we got thunder.
I swear there's a bubble over us because it'll go all the way around us, and yeah, we don't see it.
I don't know. I hear something outside.
I hear something, but you know we're notorious for getting lights and sound effects, and not the actual wet effect.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about UAVs. My bad.
That was you.
Was it?
Shika, yes, at Margaret. Thanks. I could not remember the name. Texas says you do have some bad weather up there. Hunker down. Okay.
in Temple.
I'm fixing to look at the radar. Attila said, pretty sure the Blue Lagoon excursion in Nassau is hosted by cruise ships, so the boat lady just didn't bring her wristband or forgot or lost it.
Yeah, I have, they always leave parts of the story off as to how she got that far without having it. Was it lost, misplaced? Did she never buy it? You don't actually ever know that.
Well, that and the fact that she had a younger child with her who did have it.
I don't think he had the right one, because I was actually looking at the wristbands on people's. A lot of them that were sitting down in the boat had pink ones on. He had a green one on, so that could have been from a different excursion a previous day. And she, of course, didn't have any on. But once they come to you and they say, hey, you don't have your wristband, shouldn't be on this excursion, you need to come with us. At that point, you just go.
Yeah.
Because
when you're in a foreign country.
Well, one, you're clearly
not where you're supposed to.
That's where you're supposed to be. You've done something wrong. If you forgot it, you may have to go get it. It's really that simple. They tell you don't leave, but that's the thing, if you book with a cruise line and it's a cruise line excursion, you get a ticket. Then you take the ticket to your meeting point and they give you a wristband. You don't ever get the wristbands early. They don't give them to you on the ship unless, your whole group is departing from like the theater or something like that. We've got a couple of them in the theater, remember?
Yeah.
But they still take your ticket. You still have to have your ticket. So she apparently had no ticket, no wristband, no nothing, but still went and got on the boat. And then escalated the problem like it was them and not her.
Yeah. Sheikah says, have not been to La Paz in a long time. Looking forward to visiting again in December. It's exciting. I love it. I love hearing about all of y'all's cruises. Bob says, same here in Kaufman. Already got 3 inches of rain today. Bob, send it our way. Pretty please. Pretty please. Misty said at Nelly, hopefully they will be like the ones in my area. We got nothing but some light shows. Was expecting a massive storm on how weather was talking them up. Yeah, we did a lot of that. Moonlight Adventure says MSC encourages dropping your bags off when you embark. They also don't mind if you check out the room, but they do want you to leave quickly to allow cleaning.
Now, see, we've been on. Oh no, he said MSC.
MSC.
I was thinking
on MSC.
Well, that's good information to know that when we go on MSC in November, we'll have to, check that out. And if that's the case, it'd be nice to be able to just go drop them off and leave. I have no problem with dropping and leaving.
Yeah.
That just means we don't have to carry. We're ready to go muster. We're ready to go eat. We're ready to go look around, especially ships we've never, ever been on before. I'm not ready to go straight and hang out in the room.
Yeah.
So I'm perfectly happy with the drop and go theory.
Nellie says celebrity allows to drop off the bags in rooms as well. Attila said, interesting thing in Nassau, we took a glass bottom boat tour and one of the older gentlemen who was supposed to go with us had a hole in his lanyard pouch and he lost his cruise card and wristband. That's not good.
But at least in that case, he probably could have gone back to the ship, gotten a new card once he got back on the ship, gone to the excursions desk and been like, I lost everything. I wasn't able to go. They'd be able to confirm that and he could get a refund or something. Because, or at least he could ask. There's a chance he would get it back in that particular case.
James said, totally understand, Sheikah. It's not a great itinerary, but it's an Eastern Caribbean, which I haven't done in a while, but I'm more interested in the Aqua ship. Nellie said, I thought the lady wasn't doing the excursion with her family. Not real sure. They leave. Like he said, they leave that part.
Yeah, the story said that there was 3 of them and none of them had the wristband, but she is the one that refused to get off the boat. But again, a lot of those stories, they don't include the excursion company's story. They don't include the cruise line stories. They definitely didn't include the lady who got drug off the boat story. It's this is what we saw story. So you never know how much is missing from those stories.
Yes. Sheikah wants to know when we're going to go cruise the West Coast.
It's on our list.
Yes, it is.
It is on our list. It's going to happen at some point. I promise.
Attila said he had to turn around and go back and get a new one, and his family went with him instead of going on excursion. I'd have done the same thing. Moonlight Adventure says, bottom line is that people need to educate themselves and use proper etiquette. That's asking a lot these days. So, yes,
But that's a very true statement.
it is.
You know, a little etiquette, a little politeness, a little realizing that throwing a fit is not going to get you your way. Goes a long way on a cruise.
Yeah. Bob said, I will say on Royal lately, they have been locking the watertight doors so you can't access your rooms.
Probably became a problem.
Texas Cruiser says, I thought that lady officer handled the situation well. I wouldn't go against her.
Me neither. I am pretty sure she could have just whooped and carried me right off of there without breaking a sweat.
Yep. Ray said, Tiffany, we got our hummingbirds a few days ago, now making sugar water. I love it. Love it. I think we've lost a few. They've migrated on.
Seems weird. Maybe they went to Ray's
They
house.
went to Ray's house.
Does seem like we've had less than the last week. I don't know. Yeah, if they've continued north and are heading for something else.
Yeah, we sugared them up so they could go see Ray.
Yeah, they were juiced.
Yep. Moonlight Adventure says FAFO for all others. I hope y'all know what that means. John Joseph is here. Welcome. Like Long Beach, but the first and last day are too rocky and cold. Suzanne White is here. Her family tried to get her to get off. A little boy was crying because she was an embarrassment. It might have been her son.
Yeah, it was reported that it was, but again, but yeah, that poor kid was. Because you could see him talking to her, and then he's off crying. Yeah, it's an embarrassment, more than anything.
Misty says, "How do y'all feel about going about group cruise on World America? Let's get through the first group.
We'll just informal it, like
yeah, there we go. We'll informal it.
like Harmony of the Seas.
Yes.
Pick a date, and everybody who wants to go books the date.
Yep, there you go. We'll do that." James said, yes, I need to look into a West Coast cruise, maybe after the group cruise. Let you know, Sheikah. And James says he'd be up for it, a group cruise on America.
Yeah, I want to try to squeeze in, though, some Margaritaville. I'd like to squeeze that in next year. I'd like to throw in a Margaritaville cruise, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I just think that would be I think it's going to be a super fun cruise.
Sheikah says, how do y'all feel about a group cruise on the West Coast? I'm in for it.
We're good.
Attila says, yes, Rick, that security lady was all business. Don't mess with her. Yep.
She said,
Yep. Misty Williams said, was looking into the January of 27. That's a good time.
January.
Mm-hmm.
We do like January cruises, too.
Yeah.
Do enjoy a January cruise. Less kids, less expensive because it's right after the holidays. January is a good time to cruise. You can get some rough weather, you get some bumps, you can get some chilly here and there, depending on where you're sailing from, but still, it's a good cruise.
Yes. Texas Cruiser says, I'm thinking about going on Island Times group cruise on MSC Seascape in November. We're going on Seascape in November.
Mm-hmm.
You forgot the name of the ship again, didn't you?
No, Seascape. In November.
Sheikah said, don't tempt me. James said, that's my birthday month. Nellie said, Island Time. Is that just because Rick said it? Oh. Texas, bad Nelly.
Seascape is great. There we go. That's another positive review for
yes.
Yeah, Seascape's going to be our very first MSC cruise ever. when she sails out of Galveston. And we are really looking forward to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've never sailed MSC, so it's going to be a whole new experience. I'm jazzed for that one. Really, really am.
Rubber Ducky's here. Welcome. Says we have been on the Margaritaville at Sea Islander 5 times. We love it.
See, I hear so many people. You see like negative stuff on the internet, but then you actually talk to people who've been on the ship, and it's like a whole different perspective. It's a whole bunch of I love it. It's great. Do it. It was a great time.
Yes.
I think the real difference is you have to go into Margaritaville at Sea knowing exactly what you're booking. You know, it's a cruise cost. I've seen their prices crazy, like $169 per person to go on these cruises. If you're a veteran, you can go for free. You just pay port fees and taxes. You just have to know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And I absolutely believe if you go into it with that mentality that you're just going to have fun, but it's not going to be a Princess Cruise sailing. It's not going to be Celebrity. You know, it's going to be Margaritaville at Sea. I think you're going to have a blast going into it with that mentality. You know, it's a difference of Disney World or going to Six Flags.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could absolutely have a great time at both. Just know the Six Flags is not Disney.
Texas Cruiser said, I am seriously looking at booking Islander of the
Next year.
next year.
That ship's calling to me.
Yeah.
Margaritaville at Sea is calling.
Moonlight says we've sailed on her twice. Love that ship. James says, I have heard a lot of good things about it. Rubber Ducky. Bob says, I believe Nelly is carrying a 6-foot wooden spoon just to keep things up with Texas Cruiser.
He's got a whole boat oar.
Margaret said, I've heard the Islander is much better than the first Margaritaville at Sea ship. It is on Old Costa ship, much larger than the other one, and apparently has good food and more to do.
I heard the food's good. I heard you get some good burgers on there. Of course, you know, would you not expect to be able to get a cheeseburger in paradise?
Exactly. Texas Cruiser said, for sure, Bob. James said, absolutely, Bob. Attila said, Rick, I want to do the November MSC cruise with you too, but we have a wedding to go to that week, the week before in New Orleans. So we're already planned on spending a few extra days there in the French quarters. I love it. Suzanne said, is there such a thing as a bad cruise ship? I'm new to cruising, having only been on one cruise so far.
Only if you let it be a bad ship. It's probably the best way to put that. No two ships are the same. Some are newer, some are older. Some will have amenities, more amenities you like. Some may not have as many. If you research them ahead of time, pick ones that are to your liking. No, we have never found a cruise ship we didn't like. We found some features on cruise ships that aren't our favorite, but have never come off of a cruise ship saying, oh, hate that ship, I'll never go back.
Yeah.
You know, plus at the end of the day, you're on a cruise, and any cruise is better than a day at home or a day at work.
Yep. Sheikah at Bob, I agree with you. Nelly said, I want to do the Islander. Moonlight says, us too. We will probably book Margaritaville at Sea for November. Awesome.
See, that one I think has a good chance of becoming an impromptu get together on Islander if we can all pick a time we agree on.
Misty said, the surgeon asked what I liked the most about the cruise. I told him many things, but waking up in a different country was the best feeling. Couldn't even explain it. That is very true.
I'm trying to think if there is a way to explain it. It's a feeling. Cruising is a feeling.
Yeah.
And it's a good feeling.
It's a really good feeling. Attila said, dang, I hate to miss it, but my family is in New Orleans. Attila the Fun, maybe we can convince the bride-to-be to dump this fiance so we can cruise more.
Wow. We've gone low. All right, let's break up this future marriage over here so we can cruise over here.
Wow. Susan or Margaret at Suzanne. It's all about managing expectations. Cruise lines are different with different vibes, and ship amenities vary. If you go in open-minded, there really isn't a bad cruise.
Exactly. That is a picture perfect answer right there. Go into it open-minded and just enjoy what you can enjoy. Enjoy what you like. Enjoy the fact you're on a cruise. Try some new foods, eat different places, and you're gonna get a couple cruises on your belt. I know people have cruise line loyalties. I recommend try different cruise lines. You've been on one cruise, next cruise, book a different cruise line. See how you feel about that vibe. See if that's the one you like. Or you'll end up like Tiffany and I. We just bounce around from cruise line to cruise line because we like them all.
Yep. Texas said there will be other cruises. Rubber Ducky says love the decor, the cruise director, and the rest of the crew are great. Misty says I'm a cruise junkie now.
Yep, you're looking at cruises, planning itineraries, deciding can I book for this month.
Yep.
It becomes a thing.
Texas Cruiser says, Nellie, you can join my group cruise on the Icon class ship coming to Galveston. Nellie said, I would go on Seascape, but not on some island time. We would have words. Hi, kid. I have Oasis, ABC Cruise, November 29th. Tara says, I was thinking about Islander as well, maybe one of the 7-day cruises.
I'm telling you, the Islander has the best chance of becoming an impromptu. How many people show up for a cruise?
Yeah. Nellie said, Rick, that ain't happening because Icon will never be here at this point. James was laughing, said, not a bad thing, Misty. No, it's not. Texas Cruiser says, oh, come on, Nellie, you can make it. Sheikah at Texas, you do like punishment. Ray said, no, Tiff is stuck on Disney. I am, Rick. I'm just not stuck on Disney prices.
Yeah, now Disney prices were the same as mainstream, some Royal Caribbean type prices. I would have a hard fight to get her to sail on anything else. But I kind of slip her a Disney cruise in. We're looking at February of 2026 to do Marvel Day at Sea.
Yeah.
I did look those up for her today. So I swear it's for her. She loves Iron Man.
Nellie said, but Rick, I'm doing a casino deal Icon February 28th. I will talk to them. Attila said, can you even back to back with casino offers? I don't know.
Oh, you probably could.
You can all the time. Nellie said, yeah, you can.
Yeah, I would think so.
We're all caught up.
Oh, okay. Whew. So, yeah, I think for 2026, we're going to do Disney. I'd like to fit in Margaritaville. And, of course, we have the group cruise. And then, some Allure, some Symphony.
Okay.
Some of those other ones, a few here, a few there, once a month. That sort of thing. What? Why are you looking at me crazy?
Some of us have to work.
Well, some of us won't get to go.
James says, Sheikah, what port do you sail out of on the West Coast?
I can solo cruise.
I know.
We can have an all guys cruise.
Okay.
You can have an all girls cruise.
I know.
But no one's going to go on Disney with you.
I know.
Okay.
Attila says the Islander out of Tampa had some real nice 7-day sailings for a great price a while back.
I've seen them advertising for like $169. I've seen some good prices on the Islander.
Misty said, "You would be proud, Tiffany. The last thing I asked for before I was put to sleep was, can I have coffee when I wake up?" Yes. Yes. I've been asking the same thing. Where's my coffee? Just have it ready. Yep. Sheikah said, mostly Long Beach because I love Carnival, but also San Pedro if I'm sailing Princess or NCL.
Now, when we go on the West Coast, I definitely want to go out to Long Beach.
Yeah, because you want to go on
Queen Mary.
the Queen Mary, yeah. Margaret said, if I lived closer to San Pedro, I would be on a ship every month. I'm just far enough away that it doesn't quite work out. Nellie said, Haley just said she will go Disney with Tiffany. Yes, we have one. I love it.
All right. February 2026, Marvel Day at Sea. Just throwing that out there. Because I'm sure if Haley is listening, he's now getting an earful.
James says,
I too can stir the pot.
Yes. James says, thank you, Sheikah. I will take a look at them.
Yeah, there's a lot of good cruises out. There's so many cruises and so many cruise ports that we would literally have to cruise almost continuously to get to everything and touch everything that's I want to do.
Misty, I didn't mean to ask you, did they have the coffee waiting for you when you woke up? Did you get your coffee? Texas Cruiser says, I've been in the building where the cruise terminal is in Long Beach when it housed the Spruce Goose. I also toured the Queen Mary. I don't know what that is.
Well, Rick might be dating himself a little bit. The Spruce Goose was an airplane.
Okay.
That was created by Howard Hughes.
Okay.
Made all out of wood.
Oh.
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
But the Spruce Goose is actually still around. So let me be clear about that too. Unless he was there during construction phase.
Misty still wants to see pictures of you with the Marvel characters.
I want to see pictures of me with the Marvel characters. If y'all think that I'm talking smack and I will not be taking pictures with Marvel characters, I will show you guys that is incorrect. Tiffany will tell you. I will stand in line like a 5-year-old to have my picture taken with Iron Man. You're darn right.
Yes, you will. Just like I would a princess.
Yeah, exactly. I have no problem with doing any of that stuff.
Sheikah said, at Margaret, I say the same thing. If I lived in Florida, just close enough gotta live close enough to that terminal. Misty said, yes, my husband had some coconut white chocolate ready for me. He poured a little in my mouth, then add water. That is awesome. I'm so glad she got her coffee. I
What you made Rick say?
I didn't have coffee yesterday. Texas Cruiser said, okay, so I am old.
See?
No, you're not.
You shouldn't say things like that about people.
I didn't say that. You did, and we have it on camera.
No, I simply mentioned Howard Hughes in a wooden airplane.
Attila said, Carnival Radiance still sells out of Long Beach, Sheikah. I know the Forenzi. It's still there. Sounds like a great ship. Texas Cruiser's laughing. Nellie said she literally is talking mess about me in February 26th. She said, no, it's Icon, and called me a name that starts with a P. Nellie, Rick, Haley has your back. Silly said, my parents went on the Spruce Goose about 30 years ago. They loved it, and Dad was let in the cockpit. Texas Cruiser did great. Sheikah and Andre, yes, Radiance is still here. I like the Radiance, but love Forense.
I'm still thinking about what Haley's telling him in the background. Yeah.
Texas Cruiser said, not helping Billy. John says, just got a casino offer from Royal on the Mariner from Galveston on June 19th for 2 for $832 and some change, and they put us on deck 12 in an oversized ocean view, floor to ceiling windows. That's amazing.
I gotta get caught up. I'm so sorry. I was laughing too hard.
John got a really good deal on an oversized ocean
On the
view.
Mariner. That's a good price.
Mm-hmm. That is very good price.
Nice. Nice. We've been in one of those rooms. It was just one wall was that window, remember?
Yeah, but it was kind of slanted.
Well, yeah, because it was at the front of the ship,
Yeah,
but it was
that
still an awesome view.
That was a spa room.
No. It was a Ford panoramic ocean view, and that was on the.
It was a carnival ship.
But the kids were with us.
Yeah, that was the Breeze, wasn't it?
No, Freedom.
Yeah, Freedom.
That was on Freedom of the Seas that we had that room.
John said, blew me away. I imagine so. I bet you booked that right away, right? We'd have booked it.
Yeah, if they drop an offer like that on our lap one of these days.
Francis is here, says, great price.
So this is when you just got to put it out there. Okay. Cruise lines. I don't care which cruise line you are. If you're watching me and would like to drop a great offer in my email address, I will come and say nice things about your ship if I feel them. I'm just saying. Put me in a big room, lots of windows. If there's energy drinks in my fridge when I get on the board, well, shit, I'll like. It's the best ship ever. Y'all see me drinking on camera?
John said the inside was only $440. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I know. Tiffany said, well, you know what? I'll take that one.
No, I like the ocean.
You like the balcony.
I like the balcony, but I like to see out. So Sheikah said, why don't I get any offers like that? I think it all depends on how much you spend in the casino.
You know, but I've heard people say that they spend a lot in the casino and they are pretty regular in the casino, and they don't get offers like that. It seems really random who gets them, who doesn't. People that say they spend a lot of money in the casino say they don't get them, but they know people who spend way less and they do get them. But the casinos are run, I mean, while they're part of the cruise line, they're run independently. And so I don't know if there's any real rhyme or reason behind casino offers. We don't play enough to even bother to get casino offers.
We're lucky if we drop 100 in the casino on a 7-day cruise.
Yeah. And even that's a bit, I think we spent too much in the casino. Even though I do have this, gambling problem when it comes to buffaloes. I do like the buffalo.
Yeah. Nellie said, John, was it a BOGO? If they give you for the 2, it will be $212. Margaret, Plumber is here. Gotta go. Have a great weekend, everyone. You too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here. Have a great weekend. We'll see everybody see you next week.
Yes. John said, I actually didn't lose. I won a lot. Maybe they want their money back. That's a good possibility.
That is a possibility too. Maybe they figure that if you win enough money and they give you a free cruise, statistically you'll come back and lose the next time, and they'll recoup that money. I didn't think about that, but that makes a lot of sense too. As I have no idea about casino offers. There doesn't seem to be any firm or strict rhyme or reason to what some people say they get.
Nellie said, sometimes people who spend a lot get nothing, but some spend a little and get lots. The Facebook groups are filled with people mad or happy about it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like there's no consistency in it. I'm sure the casino has a formula, a plan, a thought process. Then again, maybe they got a wheel with people's names in it and they give it a spin like The Price is Right, and it comes up and says, Bob, it's a cinnamon offer.
Yeah.
Who knows? They're very tight-lipped about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they are.
They don't really share that sort of information as to how it comes up. But it confuses cruise passengers because there's no way to know or guarantee that you're going to get anything.
Nellie says, John, make sure to get 200 points to continue to get offers. So is that the trick? You got to get 200 points on your little account thing. But when you play the penny slots and only
I don't know. I want to say I've been over 200 before. Because usually if Tiffany's not with me, I can do pretty good. I can put 20 in and play for a while on that same 20. But every time you play, even when you're winning, it's racking up points.
yeah.
So I know I've been at least close to 200 before. I think I've gone over maybe once. But I don't get a lot of points either.
Misty said, "How do I share pictures to you guys? I tagged your Facebook page in one."
You can go directly to I don't know if I saw it or not. I don't remember seeing it. But if you go directly to our Facebook page over at High Seas Cruising, you can simply create a post right there on the page. If you're a member of the private group, you can drop them right there in the page. And Nellie does it, Carolyn does it, Rick posts stuff in there all the time, and things like that. So should just be able to drop them right in the page as a post.
John said, "On your account because you insert your room key, correct?" I believe
Yes.
Yeah. Attila said, "Wish Carnival would tell us the points we get. It's secret, I guess, but I don't spend or play nearly enough anyway to get an offer."
Me neither.
We don't either.
Weirdly enough, I do actually get offers from Carnival, but they seem to always be to sale in Australia. I don't know why. They're really good deals.
Yeah.
They're great. Of course, you got to get to Australia, which is not a great deal.
Nellie said, "If you take a casino comp cruise, it's in the terms and conditions to continue to get offers. You need to get 200 points.
Oh, okay.
So you have to go spend money.
To continue to get offers.
Yeah.
I mean, but in reality, it's no different than Vegas. You
No.
gamble a lot in Vegas, you get comps. You gamble a lot on the cruise ship, you get comps. Because they do drinks, free drinks in the casino, free drinks around the ship, free drinks while you're gambling, depending on the cruise line. It's not all of them. A lot of, like you see in Vegas.
John says, "If you hit 11 or 1200 on Carnival, you drink for free on Carnival. You check your balance on the machine. The server will show you." And then he said, "Forever." James said, "I play the arcade more than the casino." John said, "It doesn't expire." Misty said, "Maybe I'm blind. I just posted it as a comment."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it says on the little screen where
I don't know.
you put your key, and you have to input your codes. Remember that little screen on there?
Yeah.
I think it says on that on most machines. I can remember. I said I'm not a huge gambler, but
yeah. Nellie said, "We wanted to do a New Zealand cruise. The cruise was cheap. The flights, on the other hand." Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten some really, really spectacular offers that if getting there wasn't so darn expensive, I'd have taken them all day long. Carnival sent me some crazy ones, like $126 a cruise.
Wow.
Yeah, but you got to get to Australia to do them.
Yeah, and that's $1,500.
Yeah. Getting there is expensive. Then you got to cruise. Then you got to get back. And it's not like they're cruises to bring you back. The airfare sets you back a tremendous amount. And to be 100% honest, I don't know that I want to spend that time on an airplane. But there is actually a cruise, and it's way outside of my price range. But there's a cruise on Seaboard. I saw an article about it today. It's round trip from Miami, and it's going to New Zealand and to Australia. Then it's coming back to Miami. It's round trip. 5 months.
I was going to say that's a really long cruise.
It's 5 months long. And I don't know the exact price of the cruise, but I saw that it's like $10,000 in onboard credit, which leads me to believe that cruise is probably very, very expensive. I mean, $10,000 of onboard credit. Imagine what the cruise costs.
Yeah. Misty wants to know how our week has been. It's been a long week already. Lots of overtime already. Uh,
A lot of work. A
Lot
lot
of
of work. But we're working hard now, working overtime now, so we can play more later.
yes.
First half of the year is work. Second half of the year is going to be a lot more play.
Yeah. And then we got a busy month coming up at work, so it's going to be.
But yeah, starting July is playtime.
Yeah.
We're literally the second half of the year because we're going in July, then we're back out in August, then we're back out in November, then we're going to be back out after the first of the year on Disney. So a lot of work now to play later. So spent the entire day doing confetti cake. It was quite intensive
Yeah.
to make that cake. But you guys will see that one on Sunday. Came out delicious.
Nellie said it tells you in the display where you put your card in. It should tell your points. Texas Cruiser said it's been a while since I saw Carnival, but they still have me classified as a gambler. I get neat offers all the time. Attila says I never look at the little screen. I just see my balance going down to zero over and over. Me too.
I have that same problem too.
Yeah. So
I have that same problem. No matter what I put into it, it always just heads south. But I'm also a firm believer that at this point, I pretty much just walk by the casino, throw money in the door, and just keep on going.
Bob says he has that same problem.
Well, I mean, cruise ship casino odds are way different than they are in like Vegas. They're worse for you. The odds are much more in the house's favor on a cruise ship, to be honest with you. But people still do win. They hit the jackpots. You've been in there. You've heard the machines going off.
I had a coworker win $10,000.
Yeah, I mean, so it clearly happens. Happens to people you know.
Yeah.
They're just not us.
No. And she won that on embarkation day.
A great balance for the rest of your cruise.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're probably gonna wrap it up here.
Yep. Oh God. Yes. Okay. Tiffany is giving me the face, which means we are going to wrap it up today. Yes, if everybody would, please hit the like button. Give it the old thumbs up. It does help, does let YouTube know that people are watching, people are enjoying, encourages other people to come and enjoy. But we have seen some new names today. We have some new,
welcome all the new names.
we have new names commenting and talking and chatting today. That's always awesome to see new names. And of course, we have our OGs.
Yes.
Because we would never be here without our OGs, and they are what keeps us coming week after week.
And Misty, I hope your expensive vacation is a very short vacation and that you're doing great and feeling much, much better soon.
James says he is ready for August, especially the Cozumel stop.
Yes.
Me too. I am so looking forward to some Paradise Beach. If it is anything like Mr. Sancho's, which I hear it is, you're going to have a good time.
Yes. Yes, we are.
I swear the bartender gives me those drinks. I don't ask for them. That is my story, and I am sticking to it. And yes, I do want 6 plates of tacos. But thank you again for everybody for being here. We really, really appreciate it.
Paradise Beach is awesome.
Yeah. I've heard, I said, we've done Mr. Sancho's. We did it with James last time we were in Cozumel. And so this time we are going to do Paradise Beach. We've got to give an honest side-by-side opinion of what we think about those two beaches.
Yes.
I think they're both going to be awesome. And I think we're going to have a really great time. And we're going to have really great company to spend with it. But we will be back next week. Same time, same channel. And we will talk about everything going on live. Of course, we will have our show on Saturday for what every cruiser wants. And this Sunday will be Cruise Baking with Tiffany for Embarkation Day Confetti Cake. So everybody come and check those out. And like always,
We'll see you out on the high seas.
good night, everybody.